Hello and a huge welcome to this video. I'm Scorpion from How To Do, and in this video we will be learning how to make a really cool touch to move system inside of Unity, like we see in Lord of the Rings, like we see in journals, in most of the strategy games, when you have the camera like set up like this, and then you can click anywhere and the character will move towards that point. If you double click, he will run toward that point, and something like that. We're gonna make it simple, so whenever we click somewhere, he's gonna move over there. And we also are gonna make sure we handle all the animations and stuff, so when he's not moving, when he's sitting or somewhere standing over there, we will do the idle animation, and then according to his speed, according to his velocity, we will change his animations, and we will learn how to do that. It's pretty simple, you don't have to worry about anything. Let's get started. Now if you're wondering where did I get this 3D model, then it is from a game called Shadowfall, I guess. And if you don't know how to get 3D models from any game, for example Just Cause, Sniper Elite 4, any game, like even Spider-Man, then you can just go ahead and click the link in the description box below and see my video. The link will be in the description box below, how to download any game character from any game for free. So this guy is for free and it's really cool. And if you want to learn how to get these really nice graphics like this bloom and post-processing stuff and all that, make sure you see my video. The link will be also in the description box below, and that will help you a lot. So I used this character in that video and taught you guys how to get these really nice graphics. Alright, and then what I have done is I have selected the camera and set it up in this position like this, and I also have set the projection mode from perspective to orthographic. Alright, that will give you like 2D kind of an effect. If you want, you can also go ahead and make it perspective, and I'm gonna do that by just duplicating this camera and then doing that, and then select that just to show you guys what it looks like with the perspective. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the perspective and bring it out there, and then also just turn off the post-processing. This is what it looks like with the perspective, and this is what it looks like without the perspective. So you can see there's a little difference, and that makes it 2D kind of an effect. If you want, it is up to you what you want. I think this will look much better. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete the main camera that I just duplicated and save the scene, and this is that. Now one thing what you need to do is you need to go ahead and download Playmaker. If you have it, then that is pretty cool. If you don't have it, then you can click the link in the description box below and see how to download it for free and then use it in your games. It will look something like this. So it's Playmaker, and there are 3 folders. What it does is it actually helps you to make games without writing a single line of code. So you don't have to write anything, you just have to make a kind of a flowchart, and then your game will be working, and you will see how we do that pretty soon. And then also what you will have to do is you have to download the Playmaker Pathfinding add-on, which is this one. I think the link will be in the description box below, so you can download this whole folder and then just drag it inside of Unity, just like that. Also, if you want to learn how to download any asset from asset store, like majority of the assets from asset store, I have the video on that also. You can just click the link in the description box below and see that video also. Okay, so with that all set, let's go ahead and start making the game. So first thing what I will do is I will select my ground and set it to static right over here. And when you set it to static, then you have to go ahead and go to navigation. As you can see over here, just go to window, and then in there you will have an AI, and then go to navigation, and you will open up this tab over here, and then go ahead and select bake tab and then say bake. And when you do that, you will see this blue line and blue outline or blue area over here, and you can also increase and decrease the radius or something like that, I guess. There we go, we can bake it right now again, and as you can see we have baked like chunk of this guy. What this blue area signifies is that this is the area on which your player can move around and walk around. So once you have done this, you have to come out to the inspector and select the player, and then go to add component and say FSM and select the Playmaker FSM. If you don't see this, then it means that you do not have the Playmaker which is these 3 folders. So if you don't have them, make sure you have them, otherwise you won't be able to use Playmaker. Alright, okay, so go ahead and say edit, and when you do that, the playmaker FSM tab will be opened up. So this is the tab. So whenever the game starts, we're gonna come in this state. So in this state, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say, if I double click over here or say select action browser, we can see these all actions over here. So if I go to navmesh and navmesh agent, so I'm gonna go to the navmesh agent. As you can see, there are a whole lot of options in here. So navmesh is actually the thing that we just baked over here. So if I go to navigation, this is the navmesh. All right, so this is the area on which our navmesh agent can move on. So this is the navmesh agent. So we have to go ahead and say navmesh agent destination or something like that. But before we do anything with the navmesh, what we have to do is we have to go ahead and store the position on which we just clicked, right? So how we do that is we go ahead and say get button down, get mouse button down, and the mouse button which we want to press is the left one. And then when we press that, we're gonna go ahead and say new event and say we can say anything. I'm gonna say get position, get mouse position. All right, you can set the event name to anything, it does not actually matters. I'm gonna click that to add the event, and if you don't see that, then go to add transition and select the event that you just made over here, and then go ahead and say control click to make another state. You can also say right click and add a state, and then just connect the get mouse position over here. So if I play the game right now, what it should do is whenever I press the left mouse button, I should go from this state to that state. So right now I am in this state, right? So if I press mouse button, I'm gonna go in that state. So in that state, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say mouse pick. I think that is the one. Yeah, mouse pick. And then we do that, you can see there are a whole lot of options. So it's gonna go ahead and do a raycast. We're gonna set the raycast to 1000 just to make sure it is long enough to be just touch. Raycast is actually just a laser, and this laser will shoot wherever the mouse is right now. So like mouse is right now over here, it's gonna shoot the laser from here to that point. All right, and it's gonna see which object that we just did. So we're gonna go ahead and store the point on which the mouse is right now. So we're gonna store that in a new variable called mouse position. And then when we do that, we're gonna go ahead and say let's just make a simple thing. So move towards. Right now we're gonna say move towards, and then later on we can change it. So we're gonna say move towards the user owner. Oops, not do that. The user owner, that is the player, and we're gonna move it towards the position that we just stored. So we're gonna say target position is the one that we just stored, that is mouse position, and select that. And now as you can see, right now it's right in the center because it does not has anything in the mouse position. But when we press somewhere, it's gonna store that position, and then this guy is gonna move towards that position. So let's go ahead, go to the play, go to the game mode and say play. And right now the player should not move at all, so he's just standing over there. And then when I click somewhere, he's gonna just move towards that position. All right, if I play the game again, he should move somewhere else wherever I just press it. For example, if I want to move this guy to that position, there we go, he moves towards that position. That is pretty cool. But we don't want to move him like that, because if I go to the scene and duplicate this guy over here and press F to zoom in and make it kind of like a obstacle kind of a thing right in the here, and also make it smaller. There we go. And now I go ahead and say play the game and make the character move over there. It's gonna just pass through this guy. So if I play, look at that, he just passes through it. So he does not know that there is an obstacle right. What we have to do is we have to use navmesh, and that is where it comes the pathfinding. So we want this guy to find its own path according to this guy, the obstacles and all that. All right, so how we do that is we go ahead and say set agent destination, there we go. And the agent, that is the user owner, we want to set the destination of the player. And then as you can see, there is a error over here that says the game object requires ai.navmesh agent component. So if we just click here, it's gonna make that navmesh agent component by default. And if I go to the scene, as you can see, there is a collider thing all over the place. So in order to fix that, what we can do is we can go to the side view and then reduce the radius first. And I'm gonna do that by holding Alt, otherwise it's gonna be like really fast and it's really difficult for me to set it up. So I'm gonna hold Alt so that we can just easily, you know, find unit. And it does not have to be as accurate as it is, but yeah, you can take your time and, you know, set it up. I'm gonna just go ahead and roughly do that. So as you can see now, it's good enough, and I'm gonna save that. And then what you have to do is if you come to the navigation, as you can see, there is no detection of this guy over here, so I can just move it around and there is no detection of the guy. So you can go, you can see both of them are, make sure both of them are static, the ground and this cube, so both of them are static. And then go to navigation and bake that again. And now when you bake that again, as you can see, there is a outline around it, which means the player cannot move around it, move through it. All right, so he can just move around it, he cannot move past through it, and he can also move on top of it, and we can but we don't want him to jump up. We're gonna cover that later on. But as you can see, when we've rebaked it, we have the new path over here, so that is good. I'm gonna save that again, and this time I'm gonna go to the player and say edit. And now as you can see, there is no error. And the game object destination, the destination that we want to just set, is the one that we just stored over here, the mouse position. So go ahead and click this guy and use the variable this guy. All right, so now if I just go ahead and press it over here, he moves and he does not passes through it, he just moves around it. If I just go ahead and quickly make this guy bigger like that and go back to the navigation and rebake it, now we have made it guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and say in camera, Control Shift F, and I'm gonna go to the post processing and just disable the depth of field because I don't need that right now. Okay, so now if I play the game, so if I want him to come over here, if I click over here, as you can see, he goes over there and then he turns and come over here. So that is pretty cool, right? So what we need to do now is we need to add some kind of an animation that when he is not moving, he should do the idle animation, and when he's moving, he should do the walking animation. In order to do that, we have to just set up the animations first. In my case, I have these animations. So there is the idle animation, then there is a running animation, and there is also a walking animation. If you don't know how to get animations from Mixmo, or how to get your character in there, just like this one, this is from Sniper Elite 3. By the way, if you don't know how to get the animations and all that, the links will be in the description box below, so don't have to worry about that. Everything will be in the description box below. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure all of them are humanoid. So this and this are humanoid, and I'm gonna go to the animations and make sure they are ticked whenever there is this green light over here. Just tick all of these. All right, in this case this is not green, this is red, so I'm not gonna tick that. And also same goes over here. So as you can see, he just moves around and walks around just like that. So that's pretty cool. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and say right click, create an animator controller. I already have 2 of them, but I'm gonna make it for you. I'm gonna just call it anything, I don't want to type in again. And go ahead and drag and drop the idle animation in there, and then also drag and drop the walking animation in there. And then make it transition from idle animation to walk animation, and then walk animation to idle animation. And I want to transition from this animation to that animation on some condition, so we have to add a condition. I'm gonna go ahead and press this plus sign, and then go ahead and set a float or a bool. I think I should set a bool. Yeah, walk. I'm gonna go ahead and set a bool called walk. Bool is actually a true or false. All right, true or false. I think that is the one that we just need over here. So when it is true, we're gonna walk, and if it's false, we're gonna just not walk. All right, simple as that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say add a condition, and when walk is true, we're gonna go to the walk, and when walk is false, we're gonna not come to walk, we're gonna go back to the idle. Make sure both the transition has exit time false, so tick the has exit time, untick that. So as you can see, now there's no has exit time. And let me just quickly show you guys what I just did. I'm gonna go ahead and tag the animator over there. If I play the game right now, he's gonna just do the idle animation. And he's not gonna do the idle animation. I just figured out. I have to drag and drop the animator controller in here, and as you can see, the animator controller is right now empty. So I'm gonna just go ahead and drag and drop the animator controller that we just made over here, and I'm gonna delete these two because this will confuse me. And now as you can see, there is an animator control over there. Make sure it is say apply root motion and say play. Now he will do the idle animation, and he is doing the idle animation. No, he's not doing the idle animation. That is not cool. I think he is not set to the humanoid, I guess, so I have to set it to humanoid. It's set to generic, as you can see right here. So you have to set the 3D model to also humanoid in order to make it work. Cool. And now if I play the game, he should do the idle animation. I think so. And he's doing the idle animation. There we go, as you can see. And there we go, the idle animation is looping around. That is pretty cool. If I set it to walk is true, he is gonna walk. And if I set it to false, he's not gonna walk. And he's not able to walk through this cube because it has a collider, and also this guy is a navmesh agent. As you can see, we can transition between walk and run, walk and idle. That is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark it as the animation is working. One thing I just figured out is that when you double click the walk, we don't want to actually walk him, we want him to walk in a loop position. So we just want to walk him. So just tick this guy also. So as you can see, now he's walking in the same position. Make sure you tick this guy, X and Z, and also loop in position. Alright, so as you can see, he's walking in the same position. That is what we want, because we don't want him to actually walk and then walk with the and then add a force with the agent. Alright, so yeah, just tick that. You don't have to understand anything. Come over here, and now what we want to do is we want to set this bool to true and false according to some condition, and that condition is whether or not the character is moving or not. So if I come over here, as you can see, he moves in the Z direction, which is this one. So if I move him forward or backward, only the Z value is changing, as you can see, which means if I come over here and say, I think I should make a new FSM just for the animation separate. I'm gonna go ahead and say add component FSM, playmaker FSM, say edit. This one will be animation. Animation. I cannot see my keyboard right now. I'm gonna just set it to anim because I'm not good at without looking at the keyboard and typing, so I'm not kind of that guy. Okay, come over here, make a new FSM for the animation separate, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say get velocity of the agent. So get agent desired velocity, no, get the agent velocity, just like that. And when we do that, as you can see, we can say the user owner because he is the navmesh agent, so that is pretty cool. Velocity is I want to set the velocity magnitude. Alright, so I'm gonna just store the velocity magnitude in a new variable called speed. Just make it simple. We don't want it to like be difficult, right? And we want to check it every frame. We're gonna get it every frame, and then we're gonna go ahead and say float compare, because if I go to variables, as you can see, the speed is a float variable, and we're gonna compare this speed with 0. So if it is greater than 0, then we're gonna go ahead and say walk. Oops, walk. And if it's less than or equal to, we're gonna just stay in there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say right click, add transition, walk, come over here, and I'm gonna do the same thing, copy, paste, and in here we're gonna say set animator bool. So it should be somewhere over here. I don't have to type in again. Animator, so set animator bool. There we go. Set animator bool. The user owner of the animator is this guy. We're gonna go to the not in the asset store. We're gonna go ahead and say this is the animator that we want to set, the one. So it is walk. So we want to go ahead and set the walk to true whenever the speed is greater than 0, and if it is less than 0, then go to the idle. There we go, idle. If it is less than 0 or if it is equal to 0, then go to the idle state. So add transition, idle, do that. Okay, let me just quickly explain to you what we are doing. Just copy this guy, paste it in here, and say false. Okay, what we are actually doing is that we're gonna get the speed of the agent, which is this player. We're gonna get the speed. If the speed is greater than 0, it means that we are walking, and if we are walking, we are gonna come in this state, and we're gonna set the animated rule of walk, which is this one, to true, which means he's gonna just come in this state and walk. And if if the speed is less than 0, or if it is equal to 0, that means we are standing, and that means we just want to animate it. We want to just do the idle animation, so we're gonna come back in here and say set animated rule walk to false, which is false, and he comes back and do the idle animation. Save this guy, and it should nicely work, I guess. Oops, sorry. Save that, and if I play the game now, if it should work properly, I guess. I don't know, not sure. So he's doing the idle animation. That is pretty cool. If I come over here, he's walking, and there we go, he stops, and he's not doing the idle animation. Well, the speed is pretty damn fast, and he just walks for once. If I come to this FSM, as you can see, he's stuck in this state. He cannot come back to that state and do the redo everything. Right, so what we do now is we go ahead and say wait, no, next frame event, I guess, or wait for 1 second, or 1.5 second, I guess. 0.5. Where is 5? I can't even find the 5. And then go ahead and say finished. So finished, and finished. You can just simply go ahead and add finished by control clicking anywhere. As you can see, there's a finished over here. Oops. So if I make a state over here and control click on that, it's gonna make a finished state. Okay, and we're gonna wait for 0.5 seconds and come back, and then we will be able to just press the mouse again. We're gonna get the position again and set the position to again. All right, and do that again and again and again and again and again. Cool. Play the game. So if I come over here, he walks over there, and of course the speed is little too fast, but we're gonna just change that, so that is not a problem. So he walks around pretty nicely, and his turning speed is also not as it should be. And if I come over here, and as you can see, he turns like that and comes over here around it, not through it. That is pretty cool. So it's working. So now the only thing that is remaining is to tweak these values of the navmesh agent in order to get the perfect thing. So I'm gonna just play the game and see if we just tweak these values. First thing I think I should do is I should slow down the speed. So let's just say 1. Yeah, so that matches his movement, I guess. Okay, I think I should set it 2. Nope. Yeah, he is actually animating nicely. Of course we have to increase the, no, it should be 1.5, I guess. Of course you can take a whole lot of time in just tweaking these values. I think this 1.5 is the best one right now. So let's just set the speed to 1.5. Angular speed should be really big, so that he just can, you know, turn around really fast. So I'm gonna just add these zeros in there. As you can see, now he can just turn around real quick. There we go. And then what we have to do is we have to increase the, or decrease the acceleration, I guess, to 1, 2, oops, 4 maybe. Yeah, or 1 maybe. Nope, just oops, increase the acceleration. Yeah, we will have to increase the acceleration to something like that. And then we can set this, let's select the stopping distance to 1. Yeah, that works. That works perfectly. Quality is high quality. That is good. Auto transverse off mesh, auto repath, area masked, priority, height, and all that are set to really nice values. So I think it is working nicely, I guess. So if I come over here, he walks over there, and then he turns nicely and he comes where it should. All right, if I select it over here, he can just come over here just like that. Pretty cool, right? I can set the angular speed to 1 lakh, I guess. That will be also good. Yeah, that is nice. So he can walk around with the animation, and all that is pretty cool. Yeah, now I think I should add a running system. I think I should do that because yeah, double click to run. All right, double click to run. So let's do that. But before you just come over here and just exit the game, don't do that, because we just changed the values. So just copy the component just like that, and if I just exit the game mode, you will see that the values snap back to the ones that were original. And if I just come over here and say paste values, we can set the values to back. Pretty cool. So that is pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. We can just move around like all the strategy games, as you can see, and he animates according to his movement, so that is pretty cool. And he also avoids the obstacles like this. So if we want him to come over here, and then if we want to come over here, he's gonna just go over from here, detecting the path. And we can also add the obstacles and all that. So yeah, not a big deal, right? So we can just come over here and make it smaller like that, and we can add these obstacles anywhere we want. Like if we just block the area over here just like that, and there we go. So and again right now, and he should not come over here easily, right? I think I should come over here and make the camera rotate a bit so that we can see what's happening. Okay, cool. So now he will not be able to come over here. He should come from here and then go over there. So that is what he will do. So he's going over there, and then he's passing from there, and then he is going over there, and then he turns and he comes over here. So that is how we do this, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and that is pretty much it. If you want me to make any other tutorials, make sure you leave some comments below. I will try to see what I can do. All right, I'm not an expert, so yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, then subscribe to my channel, which is how to do. If you want, you can also donate me some money through PayPal. The link will be in the description box below. And yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.